Bro, I robbed everyone. Bro, I point my gun out the window at and watch their reaction and drive away. Now the real Smith will shine. I even shaved my head.
The officers in Queens got arrested, accused of being corrupt.
3 NYPD cops allegedly took thousands in cash payoffs to give business to one towing company. In over 100 accidents in Queens, the FBI says the 3 officers called that one towing company, illegally looking up accident victim information to pass on through the towing firm to give to a law firm for possible accident-related lawsuits. The FBI arrested the 3 at their Long Island homes this morning. Robert Smith, the alleged ringleader, found in Plainview, Robert Hassett, arrested near Farmingville, and Heather Bush in Massapequa. Prosecutors say Smith, who retired in 2020, is also on tape offering to deliver heroin for a drug gang. And they say Smith was recorded bragging about uncharged crimes in the years he worked in the 105. And after he retired, at times using racist language. Bro, I robbed everyone. Bro, I point my gun out the window at and watch their reaction and drive away. Now the real Smith will shine. I even shaved my head. Klan. As part of the towing scheme, the officers allegedly picked up thousands in cash in a set mailbox. With Smith retiring, he allegedly recruited Officer Bush to step in and take his place.
Ironic twist after a heroin ring bust today on Long Island. Police say a former NYPD narcotics detective played a role in the drug dealing.
Of heroin, cash, and weapons. The kingpin heroin ringleader thought to supply 23,000 doses of heroin on local streets each week. 45-year-old Lee Jackson, also known as Big Chris, who lives in Queens with a former cop.
We charge that Jackson was assisted by his long-term partner, Karen Young, a retired NYPD narcotics detective.
The retired narcotics detective, it is alleged, helped Jackson collect money from heroin, branded Taster's Choice, from his dealers distributing in barbershops and auto body shops in Brooklyn, Queens, and Nassau County. When Jackson was pulled over on the day of his arrest, he displayed this shield. You've got the wrong guy. Karen Young's courtesy shield flashed from a wallet reading Detective's Husband alongside a PBA card. Please show consideration to the member of service husband.
For the NYPD, and tomorrow, court dates for 7 cops hired to uphold the law, but now charged with helping run a far-flung prostitution and gambling ring. A 3-year undercover investigation, hundreds of hours of surveillance, dozens of civilians arrested. A scandal. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger live outside the courthouse in Queens. Josh.
And Bill, it's going to be a pretty busy morning tomorrow when those 7 New York cops make their way one after another before a judge in the building behind me. Amid word tonight, more officers may follow them here. They strap on their gear and hit the streets, risking their lives to protect and serve. Of a scandal that's rocked the nation's largest police department. Arrested so far, 3 sergeants, 2 detectives, and 2 officers from commands across Brooklyn and Queens. The 7 cops provided protection to a gambling and prostitution ring run by a retired detective they'd all known on the job. He and his wife, sources say, ran brothels in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, and in parts of Queens. The implicated cops allegedly provided security and protection to the ring, along with information to help stay out of the reach of detectives.
New York City police officer tonight accused of trying to sell large quantities of fentanyl, heroin, and cocaine. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 11-year veteran Grace Rosa Baez and her housemate Cesar Martinez hid drugs inside various items like a Mentos container. A confidential source says the pair sold a sample of fentanyl and was forming the groundwork for a wholesale trafficking operation. Officer Baez was already on modified duty following accusations of misconduct.
N.Y.P.D, an 18-year-old says that she was raped in a police department van after 2 detectives took her into custody.
Claiming she was raped in handcuffs by a plainclothes NYPD detective. Living in Calvert Vaux Park in Coney Island with 2 friends when 2 plainclothes detectives in a black van pulled them over. The detectives allegedly told the 2 friends to leave.
They told her to follow her, that she's under arrest, and they put handcuffs on her and they put her into the van.
Sources say the detectives drove her to a parking lot on Cropsey Avenue. It was here, they say, the two forced the 18-year-old to perform a sex act on both of them. David says one of the detectives then raped her. Police sources say the detectives claim the sex was consensual.
She's being brutalized twice here. First, they rape her. She's kidnapped, she's raped, and she's thrown onto the street. And then they go ahead and they victimize her again by saying it was consensual.
The attorney claims the cops dropped off his client a few blocks away from the 60th precinct. The president of the detectives union told CBS 2, quote, "These are serious allegations and I am very concerned."
A Bronx man calls police to report a robbery by undercover cops. With badges on chains around their necks, one has a gun. They grab the man's cell phone and sneakers and take off. Crooked cops or imposters? It's a case for internal affairs and maybe Group 51. Impersonators equipped with dozens of radios and scanners, and chased others who use cars with fake police lights to pull over victims and carjack them.
You'd be surprised what people will do in the name of trying to pretend to be a cop.
Such as the infamous robbery of a Pay-O-Matic check-cashing joint in Queens. 3 white men in blue NYPD jackets with shields around their necks. One of them gave the teller a picture of her house to prove they knew where she lived. They got away with $200,000.
Believe them to be white men. We got a tip from someone who says, I know that face, and that face isn't a real person. That face is a mask.
Very expensive masks purchased from a specialty store. Masks used to hide the identities of 3 black men who were tried and convicted. Campisi says for many, police impersonation is a convenient means to a criminal end. The targets often are immigrants who may not report what happened.
So sometimes it's just greed, opportunity to make money, thinking that they're not going to get caught. Sometimes it's like a power trip. They like the idea of getting people to give in to their supposed authority.